Okay, guys, I think everybody is here. And as a sergeant of the arms, I think it's time to start our meeting. I'm very glad to see all of you, all of our Toastmasters. For me, it's my first meeting in 2021. Very glad to see all of you. Very glad to see all of you. I hope January is treating you all well. Thanks for joining in. It's 130th Toastmasters meeting, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm here to just give you a quick reminder about the rules in our club. The first one is pretty simple. Since we are here in a Zoom conference, make sure that your mic is muted when somebody else is speaking. If you have something to say, please unmute yourself. It also happens occasionally that people speak, but we do not hear them. So please check whether you are muted or not. Secondly, I'd like to remind that all of our meetings are being recorded, including this one. So you may end up a YouTube star. Don't be worried if you see yourself in a YouTube recommendations one day. So just remember that we are being recorded, photos are being taken, and that's it. So without further ado, I'd like to pass the stage to our president of our club, Walter Schwartz.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Thank you very much to all of our guests who are visiting us. A dear and warm welcome from St. Petersburg, where it was snowing until now. Wherever you're visiting us from, feel frozen and given a little bit of snow to wherever you are. I'm happy to exchange snow with sand to Ahmed, who just told us he's got a lot of it. I would like to very much warmly welcome you to our 130th meeting. I would love to introduce you to our Toastmaster of the day. This is the person guiding you through today's meeting. This is going to be today Alan Akamba. Alan Akamba is a Toastmaster who's very experienced in his past, has been with it for a couple of years now, and is visiting us today from Moscow. He joined, as far as I know, Russian clubs or French clubs. Not sure if I'm correctly here, but he's at least trilingually speaking, and I'm glad to have him as a Toastmaster for today. Alan, over to you.
Yes, Mr. President. Thank you, Walter. Great news, first good news. I will soon be a member of the St. Petersburg Toastmasters Club.
Yay!
So Randy is doing a great job. All right. So first of all, I want to commend the St. Petersburg Club for the great coordination. There is a Telegram group that was created to keep everybody in the loop. Great job. That's how we're able to keep in touch. And also, the second announcement is that there will be no table topic session today. Again, for those who are visiting us, you might be used to the table topic session. There will be no table topic session today because the second speech is overall with the question and answer is up to 20 minutes. That's the reason why. Now, having said that, I would like to introduce our general evaluator, who is going to present his team.
Yeah, that's me. Well, Alex from St. Petersburg, unexpectedly. Yeah, let's present first our evaluators. So for the first speech is Olga Guseva. Olga. And the second speech will be Rami Saeed. Myself, my role is to observe everything, note down everything that goes not in accord with our usual meetings, note it down, and in the end, I'll give my evaluation of the meeting itself. But as for now, it looks good. So let me present the rest. The grammarian, Walter Schwartz. He will later say the word of the day, and he will introduce his role. After this, it's our counter, Valeria Gagarina. She will have her word too. Quizmaster Alex Kim. You've seen him to my right. Timer is Randall Eastman today, our dual-speaking Canadian-Russian Navy guy. And so let's start with this one. So please introduce your roles. Mr. Walter Schwartz.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you very much also to Ellen. Just a quick reminder before I'm introducing the grammarian role. Ellen, will you also use the opportunity to introduce the agenda for the people just briefly, maybe after me, so that everyone is on board what to expect and what we have a break in between? That would be fantastic. Back to the grammarian. My role as a grammarian to all of you is today to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is to mingle. I'm going to write it in the chat. To mingle. Can you please raise your hand for those who are not familiar with the word of to mingle? Fantastic. In the chat, you can see it. And it means, actually, it is a verb, which means to mix something. And there are often ways to use it as to mix some chemicals together, to mix some drinks together, and not always to say the same word. You can use to mingle something with something else. On the other hand, you might heard this phrase is to mingle with somebody or to mingle in a group. That means to socially be engaged with other groups. Let's go to a mix and mingle party. This is something where you want to go to a networking party and get to learn new people, new contexts, which are not normally probably your classical friends and family, but this is a new group. So in Europe, at least, it's very popular to go to mix and mingles parties. However, there's a third explanation in Germany in particular. I'm not sure if that's in the rest of the world as well. There is a word mingle, which means for mixing single. So if you end up in the EU for mingle parties, you'd be expecting that these are singles coming together and looking out for new friends to meet. There we go. My role is to tell you, throughout the meeting are welcome to use this word into your conversation and answer throughout the meeting. Besides that, as a grammarian, I'm going to double check on the pronunciation and to make sure everyone is being made aware of the mistakes he's doing throughout his English speaking. Thank you very much. Back to the next.
Okay. Now, is that all with the team, right?
No. Let me take your role for a second, because I want Valeria Gagarina, our counter, to say what her role is all about.
Hello, everyone. As an counter, I will pay close attention and count the words and sounds which are used as pause fillers or crutches. So you can see I'm struggling with those words myself. Such words might include like, but, and, well, you know. Sounds might be er. At the end of the meeting, I will present to you the report for each word and each speaker, how many times those expressions were used. Thank you very much, and back to you, Alexander.
The next one will be Quizmaster, please. Alex.
Yeah, thank you, Alexander. So my job today is to come up with several questions based on what will be said during the meeting. So we'll have a couple of speeches, people will be presenting their roles, and based on what people have said, I will come up with the questions, and closer to the end of the meeting, I will present my report, I will ask these questions, and I will ask you to answer them. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Alex. I'm waiting to hear from you. And the last one, timer. One of the most important ones, because we always have a problem with this in our club, but I hope today is a special day.
Today is indeed a special day, Mr. General Evaluator, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, and fellow Toastmasters. My job today is the timer. I have, in order to help me in my role, I have 3 virtual backgrounds, which I will show you right now, just so you can see what they are. So we have a green virtual background, a yellow virtual background, and a red virtual background. What do they mean? Well, for each of our prepared speeches and for the evaluation sessions today, we will be keeping track of the timing. For example, Valeria's speech is actually a tricky one. It has 2 parts. It has an initial speech of 5 to 7 minutes, and then it's followed by a question and answer session of 15 minutes. So for the 5 to 7 minute speech, at 5 minutes, I will show the green card. At 6 minutes, I will show the yellow card. At 7 minutes, the red card. If you see the yellow card, that means it's time to wrap up. If you see the red card, that means you're overtime. And if you are over time, then we will actually mute you today. So please bear that in mind. It's important. Why do I have this role? It's important in our club that we learn how to give prepared speeches within a certain period of time, and that we get our message across succinctly in the time allotted. And then that enables the whole agenda to proceed normally, and everyone gets their chance to participate as they should. So timing within Toastmasters is important. And now my time is up, and I pass the floor back to General Evaluator Alexander.
Yeah, thank you. Time is of real importance because I will remember this as a general evaluator. It's part of my job after all. Let's not forget our both evaluators, but they will be introduced later after the speech. But as for now, let's continue. So Alan, it's your word now.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Okay, so before I give you the overview of the meeting, I want to say I'm a lover of classical music. I love Beethoven and Bach, and usually when I go to a concert, I mingle with the musicians after the symphonic concert. I really love it. Now, quick overview. There will be 2 speeches, prepared speeches, and then we're going to have a short break. You can have chit chat during the break. After that, we're going to come back for the evaluation. And I will be giving the awards for the best speakers. And finally, our President Walter will close the meeting. So without further delay, I'm going to invite to the floor the evaluator for the first prepared speech, who is going to tell us, who's going to read us the goal of the speech. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Today's first speech will be delivered by Michael Wader, and Michael will be delivering a project from the first project from level 5 in Pathways, and it will be a longer project, 18 to 22 minutes, as far as I can see. And the purpose of this project is for Michael to practice developing and presenting a longer keynote style speech. The speech can be of any style, but must demonstrate excellent preparation and presentation skills and compelling content. But this speech should not be a report on the content of the Prepare to Speak Professionally project. So Michael, all the best. Mr. Toastmaster, over to you.
Okay. So I can't see the title of the speech here. Michael, what's the title of your speech?
Title of the speech is Practice, Polish, and Persistence.
Practice, polish, and persistence. Michael Wader, practice, polish, and persistence.
So you want to be a professional speaker. That's good. In America, the top 10 professional speakers make 5th $50,000 for every presentation. That's 3.7 million rubles for giving a speech. That's awfully good. But there's a problem. In America, we have over 200,000 professional speakers. And out of the 200,000, only 10% make enough money to live on. All the rest of the people who are professional speakers have two jobs, their speaking job and a regular job. So it's your choice. If you want to be a professional speaker, you know it's going to be very, very tough, but it also can be very, very lucrative. So if you want to do that, if you want to step forward and be a professional speaker, there are three key things that you need to know, and I'm going to be explaining them today. You're going to need to know how to practice, how to polish, and how to have persistence. Without these three, there is no way that you can go forward and be a better speaker. So we need to get you started on your road. In order to do that, let me get you going, okay? The first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have to be able to research. Now, what do I mean by research? Well, let me give you an example. When I speak in Toastmasters or professionally, I speak at about 130 words per minute. So if I'm going to speak for 20 minutes, that means I need 2,600 words. When I do my research for a speech, if it's going to be 20 minutes, I'm going to have about 15,000 words, about 30 pages of notes that I have put together. And then I'm going to take those notes and scrub them down, 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 till I get the right number I need for my speech. And you might be asking, but Michael, you know what you're going to talk about. Why research? I'll explain. If you're going to be paid to speak professionally to an organization or a group, they're going to expect you to know about them. What industry are they in? What language do they speak? What's the culture? Do they have any jargon that they like using? Is the company getting better or is the company getting worse? That'll have an emotional impact on your audience. You have to research your audience in order to make them happy. They came to hear you speak. They didn't come to watch you just get up there and yeah. They want to learn something. So you need to find out what that is they want to learn and then deliver it to them. A professional speaker does a lot of research. So for 20 minutes, about 30 pages of material, and then just squeeze it down, 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 down to the very, very minimum. Then throw it away and keep only the notes. In your Toastmaster pathway, by the time you reach level 5, you should not be reading a script. You should not be using notes. You should be speaking right out of your head. You're going to have to roll up your sleeves, dive in, and you're going to have to dig and find out all the nitty-gritty about your audience. If it's a private company, find out about them. If it's a public event, find out about the history of the event, what the goals of the event. Dig, dig, dig. Get your hands dirty in that research, and then you're going to be okay. The second thing you're going to need to do is need to rehearse. Now, this is something that I've been talking to a lot of you about when I'm mentoring you about your speeches. Are you rehearsing? Now, if I'm going to give a 20-minute speech and get paid for it, I'm probably going to rehearse it 10 to 30 times, depends on how difficult it is. And out of that 10 to 30, I'm probably going to record it live on video at least 5, maybe 10 times, because I want to see what happens. I want to see how I move my hands. I want to see how I turn. I want to see how I face. I want to see how my words come across to people. Get that recording, look at it, and rehearse over and over and over. It's absolutely necessary that you do. Another thing you're going to need to do by the time you got rid of your notes is you're going to have a routine. Now, I'm not sure what your routine is, and let me explain that word. By what I mean, the routine is, how do you start? How do you add impact? What about if you're going to use props? Have any of you ever tried using props? Many professional speakers do. Maybe your prop is going to be a hat. So you put a hat on. Be careful. Is it too far down and you can't see my eyes? Or is it too far back and looks silly? You have to practice your routine of putting the hat on, taking the hat off. If you're going to use a prop like a cigar, can you talk with a cigar in your mouth? Very difficult. So you have to learn how to hold it so that you can talk and present while you're doing it. If you're going to try to be cool and you're going to try to wear shades, do you put your sunglasses on top of your regular glasses, or do you take one pair off and put the other pair on? All these are a routine. You're not acting, you're not a comedian, but you're going to use props to add impact or add a point that you want to make, something that is important. You're going to need to have that routine down where you know where to put them, where to lay them, where to get them. Today, you saw me, I didn't move from where I was standing, and I was able to reach all of my props. You can do that when you are online. If you are live on stage, you're going to need to have a small table or something with all your props. You're going to have them there and know how to practice putting them on, taking them off, if you're going to use them. We have seen the world champion speakers at the international contest often like to use flowers. They will place that flower on a small table in front of them, pick it up, show it, talk about it, and lay it back down. Because if they used it in their speech, they're probably going to use that prop in their closure, which is a very popular habit, to use the same prop in your closer that you use during a speech. It adds remembrance so people can remember what you did. You need to get that routine and you need to have it working well. If you don't have that routine working well, you're going to have a problem. Second thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to polish. And what do I mean by polish? Well, if we were live and on a stage, I would tell you that means polish your shoes, polish your clothes so they are clean, polish your hair, get it combed, get it looking right. You want to look presentable. People are paying money to come see you. So you're going to have to look good. Now that is polishing yourself. Polish yourself so that you are presentable. People like what they see. You got to remember, most of the audience probably never saw you before other than the picture. And if they're going to see you live today, you need to impress them. They will remember what they see first. You also need to polish your vocal variety. What do I mean by polishing vocal variety? Well, let's say that you're talking about something and you say it really looks good. You could say it looks brilliant, or it looks exciting, or it looks, it's a very illuminary thing. You need to pick a few words to add in your speech, to add impact, add interest, get people pulled in. Now, when you're talking about vocal variety, there's many, many things that Toastmasters teach you how to do. They talk about talking louder for impact. They also talk about talking softer for impact, where people have to listen closer to hear you. Sometimes when you want to use vocal variety, we talk about something happening very fast, or sometimes we slow things down. It was so hard to get out of bed today. People will remember those things. These are all vocal varieties that you can use that's going to make your speech better. Now, when we talk about the words, this is something that I think is very important. I used to be a professional speaker, then I got into training, and I still use the same practice with words. Get to know the industry you're in, use their jargon, use things they understand, especially if you're going to change cultures in different countries. Let me give you an example. I'm going to tell a story, very short one, about my friend and I in a car ride. We're riding through the countryside, and all of a sudden my engine starts to make noise. So I pull over to the side and I tell my friend, get out and look underneath the bonnet and see what's wrong. If there's a problem, getting in the boot and get the tools. Well, if I'm in England, that's perfectly okay. If I'm in America, no one's going to understand what I said, because in America, it would have been check underneath the hood, not the bonnet. and go to the trunk to get the tools, not the boot. You have to think about the language in the culture you're in. You have to think about the language in the industry you're in. If you think about all those things and you polish your script, that's what I'm talking about. It was very large, you made it very small, now polish it so that all those words are exactly the way you want them to be. If you do that, you're going to have much greater success. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem for you. The last of the 3 P's that I'm giving you today is persistence. Networking. Now, if you're willing to mingle with people all over the place, that is great, because that's what networking is. Networking means that you're going to go to every meeting, every opportunity where people can find out about you. Networking is also on social media. You're going to need, if you're going to be a professional speaker, you're going to need to have presence on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. You're going to need to have presence there so people know you are a speaker and they know that you're ready to speak at their event. You're also going to have to network with meeting planners, conference planners, people who organize speeches. You're going to also have to do some digging. You know, when you do digging, I mean almost literally digging in the internet, online, and talking to other people. There are more than 20 professional speaking organizations around the world. Not every country has one, but many of those countries that do not have a professional speaking organization do have some sort of speaking organization within them. Find out where they are. Find out who the key person is who makes a decision. Do we hire this speaker or that speaker? Find that out. So we need to get you to dig down and get information. You're going to be taking copious notes, just over and over and over, names, email, addresses, phone numbers. You're going to be digging for the information that you need in order to be a better professional speaker, because this is what your competition's doing. They're saying we want to get paid for speaking, so we have to find events. In order to find events, we got to mingle and network with people. As we mingle and network, we need to build up our database of people who can hire us. As I said, this persistence is the hardest part of the 3 because it's going to take an awful lot of your time. Now, I also recommend that you think about starting small. If you start small, and this is what I mean, you go to Toastmasters and give speeches. You might go to the local Rotary Club, to a local church, to the local university. You might go somewhere else outside your norm to find a group that you can speak to. Every opportunity possible, you need to speak in a small group first, get the practice. If they're willing to pay, I don't care how much it is, you accept it, even though it's a small amount. Get that first professional paycheck. I can tell you, because I did it many years ago, the first time you get a paycheck, you get some money from speaking professionally, you're going to think you're in heaven. You're going to ask yourself, why did it take me so long? You're going to be smiling from ear to ear. You're really going to be happy about it. But then you have to make a decision. Do you want to try to be in that 10% who do it professionally and can live from it? Or do you want to be in the other 90% who have 2 jobs, their normal job and they're speaking? They're speaking because they are passionate about speaking. If you are passionate about speaking, and if you really take your Toastmasters training serious, you may not want to become a professional speaker. You may want to just be a better trainer or be a better speaker at work. I don't know what your desires are, but you need to improve. But if it is desire to be professional, you need persistence and keep working to it. People who know me, they say, Michael, every time we see you, you're dressed well. We don't ever see you without your jacket on. We don't ever see you without your sports coat on. You're always dressed. You're always ready. You're out there out front. You're looking good. You're speaking good. You're articulate. All those things is what you need to do. Now, I've been doing this for a lot of years. I started as a professional speaker back in 1995 and was a member of the National Speakers Association. I traveled to several cities in the United States and a few countries and gave speeches for money, a professional speaker. But I also found it was awful hard work, very competitive. So I decided to stop and go into training, which I did. And I trained for almost 20 years all over the world using my speaking skills in different cultures, in different languages, in different places, in different industries. And if I had not practiced to be a professional speaker earlier, I would not have been a successful trainer. But I did practice. Now, this year, I joined in 2020 Toastmasters again. This past year, I've been practicing. I'm still waiting for my first event that's going to be paying for me this year, that's going to have me be a professional speaker again. I can't wait for that joy. I can remember the faces of the people here in St. Petersburg 2 years ago. Through my networking, I was invited to speak at the International Women's Conference here in St. Petersburg. Almost 1,000 ladies come from all over the world to St. Petersburg, and I did my research. I found out that their average age was 57 years old. I found out that almost all of them were entrepreneurs or top managers in a large company. I found out that most of them wanted to be better leaders, and they're getting a little bit older. They're getting near retirement age. I did my research. So when they asked me to speak, they said, what would you like to speak on? I said, I got two things. One, I'm going to teach about leadership. I know leadership because that's my passion. And because I'm over 70 years old, I know a little bit about longevity. So the second subject I spoke about was active longevity. Both of them were huge successes. I had very, very good returns from the crowd as far as their feedback. We had lots of laugh in the active longevity one. I mean, we really laughed hard. I'll give you an example. Sometimes when you're in a crowd and you want to be a professional speaker, you've got to remember to add humor. I did. Lady sitting in the front row, she's looking a little bit older. Not sure how old she is, but she looks a little bit older. She looked at me and she said, you know, Michael, what would you recommend that I do to get started to live longer? And I gave her my answer. I said, find a date. Well, the whole audience roared. They thought it was funny. She got up, walked over to me, gave me a hug, gave me a kiss on my lip, on my cheek. It was very, very humorous, but we have to make people laugh. So my recommendation to you, if you want to be a professional speaker, find your passion, find a subject that you're passionate about. For me, active longevity and leadership are my two favorites. I can speak a long time on them, but I'm not going to speak professionally if I don't go out and I practice first. Then I'm going to have to polish it with rehearsals, making sure I got everything right. And then I'm going to have to persistently be looking for customers. If I don't do that, it's not going to work. So if you want to be a professional speaker, and if you become one, I will see you out on the professional speaking tour. Mr. Table Topics, Mr. Toastmaster today, back to you.
Thank you. Wow. So very much, Michael, for this amazing speech. Practice, polish, persistence, and of course, fantastic use of props. Now, moving on, two quick announcements. The first one is, as I said already, there will be no table topic session today. And the second one is during our break, which I talked about, we will be broken down into rooms so that we can get to chat with each other. So during the break, you're going to have an opportunity to speak with people and get to know other people. Our second speaker today, I'm going to introduce the evaluator of the second speech, and then I will be introducing the second speaker afterwards. So please, Rami, the floor is yours.
Hello, thank you so much, Alan. Hello, everybody. So we have Valeria Kholodkova. Her speech is, the purpose is to deliver a speech on a topic that she is well knowledge in, and to facilitate a question and answer session. And she will be practicing how to deliver an informative speech and run a well-organized question-answer session. And she will be also responsible to managing the time. Okay, back to you, Alan.
Thank you, Rami. So a quick note here, I would like to ask the audience today to pay close attention to Valeria during her speech because there will be a question and answer session. Please pay attention so that you have your questions ready when she's done speaking. So, Valeria Kholodkova, mentorship, Valeria Kholodkova.
Thank you, Alan. Before I start, just a quick checkup. Randall, I'm sorry to disturb you. My first part is from 10 to 15 minutes, and then the question and answer session is from 5 to 7. Okay. Hello, Toastmasters. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. That's what Bill Gates once said when he was estimating the value that his mentor, Warren Buffett, gave to him. I would rephrase it. As we look ahead in the next century, mentors will be those who empower us. Mentoring is a secret part of a Toastmasters educational system. Why I call it secret? Because it's in there, but almost nobody knows that it exists, that it can give you such a great amount of resources, of help, of support from your fellow members. Many clubs are introducing the mentoring program. However, very frequently it stops because of the lack of mentors and the lack of support from the officers team. However, the strongest clubs of our areas in this country, and to my personal point of view, what I have noticed within almost 13 years, the strongest clubs are those where each new member is assigned a mentor. The problem exists and there is a solution. There are many, and today I'm going to talk about one of them, which is actually available and free, and you can try it right after we finish this meeting. I will talk about the project that started 1.5 years ago, and that is called the Odyssey project. That is the mentor ship. That ship sails across the seas of Toastmasters world, all over the world, all over the continents, where each Toastmaster can join and give feedback and give value and enjoy being a part of this project. I myself was the one who was in the team of people, of Toastmasters volunteers who started this project almost 2 years ago. And I would like to show you this project in numbers right now and then elaborate on how it works and why we can use it and why it is so important not to lose this opportunity and get on board of this Odyssey ship. Here is the project in numbers. Sorry. Once again, here's a short slide with the numbers I got from the team today, because today we already had an officers meeting of project. Already 16 rounds since September 2019. 43 countries globally involved in this project. Multicultural, multilanguage, mingling with all different cultures and languages around the globe. Almost 500 active participants and an 80% match. About this match, I will tell you a little bit later. What is this Odyssey project? Basically, this Odyssey project is a free platform, absolutely free for Toastmasters, for every Toastmasters who already is a member of any club in the world, where you can join and choose whether you want to become a networking partner and mingle with Toastmasters, or you want to be a mentee. You're looking for someone to help you elaborate, polish your skills, or you may want to become a mentor yourself. You choose any of those vacancies, if I may put it so, and then you start your journey. Let me now share the screen again, and I will tell you how to find and how this journey actually starts in reality. First thing you need to do, if you don't know where to start, once again, I'm sorry, hit the Zoom thing. Now, let's put this away and put this away. If you don't know where to start, then you have to go to our toastmasters.ru website and then click on the project section. And on this project section, you will very soon find a project called Odyssey. And below this project, there is a wonderful magical button, join the project. And immediately you go to the project website. On this project website, you may take a look at what this project is about, how it works, what actually people say about the project. If you have any questions, they most likely will be answered in this section about us and contacts, and of course, the best button that is called register. And when you go for the registration button, you will receive an email to get into the project. Read the rules of conduct and then go next. Then you fill in the basic data about you, some personal things, some languages that you know, what you want to be, whether you want to be a mentor or a mentee or a network partner or anything else, what is your level, experience in Toastmasters and your clubs, and everything that is important for the organizers of the project to pair you with the best match. And then you push the next button. Over 30 skills, communication, both communication and leadership, including Toastmasters officers mentoring roles, are available on this website. So you choose what you want to learn, or you choose what you want to teach, and then you push the next button. And then you are in the project. It's that easy. How does this mentoring thing actually works? As soon as you get into this project, which will take you about 2 or 3 minutes of your precious time, very soon you will receive an email from the project team of organizers with your networking mentor or mentee pair. And you will have 3 weeks, which makes it 21 full days, to get in touch with this person offline, or most likely online, as we're now all online, and have a talk, or maybe 2, or maybe 3. And then when those 3 weeks are over and you are ready to evaluate and give feedback, only then you evaluate your work with a partner, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, or maybe you want to continue with the same person. I've known people who have continued for 6 or 7 rounds with one and the same mentor-mentee. I know people, mentors, who are mentoring more than 10 mentees, and that's fantastic. This project exists for almost 2 years already, since the moment when it started in our heads, and it brings immense value to Toastmasters world. It basically has long, huge plans. Those of you who have ever been to Basecamp in toastmasters.org website, and you know how to go to pathways, how to look for the projects and things like that, there are conversations right now with the Toastmasters headquarters to put this Odyssey project button in the Basecamp, so that you can choose your mentor already there where you are starting your educational path in Toastmasters. How does this help clubs? How does it help you? It helps clubs greatly, since they don't have to find and look for mentors all around, although they actually should do this anyway. But in case there is no mentors in the club in the current moment, and that may happen at any time, go to Odyssey and you will definitely 100% sure find a great mentor. How it will help you as a mentor or as a mentee? Well, as a mentee, that's quite clear. If you need to develop any skill, any knowledge that you already have, but you think there is an area for improvement, go and the mentor will be chosen for you. If you are ready to share, to say, engage, to have a chance to meet with new people and share your knowledge that you've already gained, say, learning never stops, and we're lucky to be able to meet new Toastmasters around the world. Go and become a mentor. And this how the projects work. Rotation of people coming new, some leaving, some coming again, but we are working on enlarging this project every single day. For me, I have two roles in this project, and both are very important for me. First, I'm a part of the organizing team, and I'm working and striving for the project success. And that's why I'm telling, like an ambassador of the project, I'm inviting you to join. And the second role is I'm a mentor and a mentee myself. And in my 13 years in Toastmasters, first time I thought that I might want to have a mentor myself. I used to be a mentor to many people, but I never thought that I need a mentor myself. And that was the project, that was the moment when I stopped and thought, why not? I really have some areas that I strongly need to improve in my Toastmastering skills and capabilities. And I found a wonderful person. I found a woman who helped me to step up at table topics, at improvisations. She worked hard with me. However, we became really good friends. And she was sort of psychotherapy for me at some point. She gave me small tasks. I actually fulfilled them. I gave her the reports. She watched my progress. She watched my videos when I took the stage as a table topic speaker, and then encouraged me to practice more. We had 3 or 4 rounds with her, and I'm so much grateful to her. By the way, she used to be the president of our French-speaking Toastmasters club in Moscow. That's Sophie Grimberg, and she's a wonderful mentor. So, dear fellow Toastmasters, what I would like you to do when we finish today's meeting, look at this project, think which areas you would like to improve, or think what you may give as a mentor to someone who is looking for your help. Go to the website, Odyssey, tm.odyssey.today, and just make 3 simple steps to register, and expect a happy letter, a happy email with your next pair, networking, mingling, mentoring, or mentee to come to your email boxes. Now, I'm finishing my first part of this project, the mentorship, and I'm happy to answer any questions that may have arise during my presentation. Hello, Toastmasters. Now the stage is to you two. How will we facilitate the questions and answer session? First thing, I would like that you raise your hand like Michael Wader just did, or any other sign, any reaction, show any other reaction. So I would detect that you have a question. And if you have a question but don't want to wait for raising a hand, just give a sign in the chat and I will then introduce you to the stage. I hope it's clear. And I would like our fellow Toastmaster Randall, the timer, to count the timing for the questions and answer session. And Michael, please unmute yourself and I'm ready to hear your question.
Yes, thank you, Valeria. Appreciate your speech. I enjoyed it. It's something new to me I didn't know about. My question to you is, those people who sign up to be a mentor, is there any type of background check or qualification check that is made to certify them as an official mentor for this program?
Thank you, Michael. That's a very good question, and that has a very direct relationship to this secret number 80% ideal match that I showed you on the slide. Basically, there is no specific specific limitation if you actually want to become a member in the project. There are 2 rules. First, you need to be a Toastmaster in the status and a good standing Toastmaster, a member of any club in Toastmasters. And the second, you need to put your titles and your knowledge. The thing is that in the first 5 rounds, we accepted mentors to be to have low educational titles, if I'm gonna put it so, say only 1 level finished in the pathway. And that caused many problems when people were connected. A mentee had a higher educational status than a mentor himself. After that, the organizational team made an effort and introduced the sorting of levels. There are 4 educational levels. We don't announce them on the website, but we know them. So from level 0 to level 2, this is level 1. Then it goes level 2, several educational titles, several levels, paths, and so on and so forth. Old communicational paths as well are counting. And this, the highest level is DTM. And you can never find a pair where a mentor would be less than level 3, never. So be sure that if you require for a mentor, at least he has performed on stage for several months and have fulfilled several projects. Of course, the feedback also is very, very important. And as long as we get feedback from a mentee that a mentor is not qualified enough, then we have to talk to this person separately. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else who would like to ask anything about Odyssey? Wendell.
Thank you very much, Valeria. I have a question because when I was a kid, I was a comic book fanatic. And the thing I loved the most about comic books were the origin stories. So I'm very curious, what is the origin of the project? Who was behind it? What was the spark that made it come to pass?
Thank you. I love this question. Well, there are several origins, to be honest. First origin, if we put a person in origin, is our moderator, major project leader, Adriana Vasilahe. She's from Finland, and she belongs to a club in Tampere, which is almost somewhere where Santa Claus lives. And they struggled with mentors in the club. So her idea was to found a project where people can mingle and connect to each other online, finding mentors for her own club. And the second origin was that we met with Adriana and myself and Adriana at one of the meetings of District 108, where I spoke with her and told her about Random Coffee Project, one project that exists in Toastmaster Russia community, which you are all invited to join, networking, mingling, everything, talking about anything you want, communicating with people. And then we started working. We decided to make something out of it. It wouldn't be a random coffee, but it would be a huge platform. And if you're interested in the origin of the name of the project, that could be another question. Hope I did answer the question. I also saw that either Rami, right, Rami, welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Valeria, what would the mentor get, or what incentives are present for the mentor, whether financial, non-financial? Is there a way to track how many hours of experience they've given? Is there any certificates given, and the sort? How do you attract good mentors also? So 2 questions.
2 questions. Let me answer the first one. The first one, how do mentors get credited for their job, right? Basically, Toastmasters is a volunteer organization. And what we do is non-profitable actions. So we don't get paid for it. So there is no financial basement, fundamentals anywhere there. So basically what mentors get, we were also wondering how to motivate people to join the project and become mentors. And we made a survey. We asked people why they joined as mentors, what actually this project brought to them, and how they developed. And most people who acted as mentors said that they thought they had enough experience to share. They received so much help from fellow Toastmasters that was their time to give it back. That was the main reason. The second reason was to share knowledge, to meet new people, because sometimes in a mentor-mentee pair, in several rounds, the situation looks pretty equal. People just start talking and exchanging ideas. So a mentee becomes closer to the mentor in the educational level. And yes, the mentors get certificates. At some point, after 2 or 3 months of serving as mentors, they do get some credit from the organizers. Hope I answered your first question. And sorry, could you please remind me the second question? I got too much involved in the first one.
I think I forgot it. Anyways.
Anyway, probably that's not that important. So we have 30 more seconds to finish. And I think I saw some other hand here, just very, very quickly. Alexander Kim, didn't have a question?
Yeah, I have one. I would like to hear more about networking stuff, how people get matched. Is it based on the things that we do in Toastmasters, like public skills, leadership skills that we fill in during registration, or is it based on more professional work interests?
Thank you, Alexander. We're running out of time, so I'll be very brief now. When you choose to be a networking partner, when you register to the system, you have a different view. I've just shown you the page where I have my mentor and mentee capabilities. When you choose to be a networking partner, you choose your interests and hobbies. And based on the hobbies, if you match, then you'll get a pair. If you like cats, then you will get a person who also likes cats. If you like traveling, then you will get a person who likes traveling. So you can discuss topics that are close to both of you. Hope I did answer your question, and you have to try to register, find it out yourself. Fellow Toastmasters, our time is up. Thank you so much for asking those questions. And that's great that you have interest in probably becoming a part of the Odyssey project at any role you may choose. And I hope to see you in the next round as a networking partner or as a mentee or as a mentor. Thank you so much.
Valeria, thank you so much for your presentation. Incredible program, and I didn't know about it either, so I'll take a look. Now, before we have our break, I would like to invite the timer to report on the times for the two prepared pitches.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster Allen. This is an interesting task today because it's a bit unusual. Let me turn off my red there because that's distracting. Number one, Michael, his presentation, the target was 18 to 22 minutes. He spoke for 18:30, just a little bit over the start of the green, so well within time. And our second speaker, Valeria, had two parts, so this is very complicated. First part was to be 10 to 15 minutes, and it turned out to be 12 minutes and 7 seconds, so well within the bounds, 2.5 minutes less than what it could be at the maximum. And the second part, which was the question and answer from the floor, was to be 5 to 7 minutes, and it was 8 minutes and 2 seconds. So that's over what it should be to be acceptable. But in total, 20 minutes and 9 seconds, so within the 22 minutes. So I say both are good. Good to go. Back to you, Mr.
Congratulations to both speakers. Thank you very much, Randall. Now we're going to have, as I said, we will have no table topic session. Instead, we will have a break during which we're going to be broken down into rooms. And I think that this will be managed by Walter. So break time for 10 minutes.
I'm not sure. Before we go into break, please, everyone, take yourself a minute and vote for the best speaker. We've just had the link published in the chat. So please, to pay the respect for the speakers and get into voting mode so that we do not forget that, please, may I ask you to take a minute now, click the link and make sure that you vote for the best speaker. Once done so, just give me a sign or a thumbs up, and then we're going to proceed you to our grouping session, which I will also explain in a minute.
Thank you very much, Walter.
All right. I'm going to get myself a go. Okay. While the last people are still voting, a quick session. For all people who are visiting us, usually we use the break often to mix and mingle with our interesting topics and onboard new people as well and get everyone involved. However, due to the fact that only one person can speak and be visible, Rendell had an idea of trying out the grouping session. A grouping session is very easy to do. We will turn on the grouping. It will be 3 groups, and the system automatically, as in every party, will just drop you together, and then you will be able in this group to communicate for 8 minutes. Our break is going to last 10 minutes, and around 8 or 9 minutes, the system automatically will bring you all together to the screen, which we are familiar to see right now. So don't be surprised when you in a minute will disappear and then communicate your break, obviously with the people who are in the group, which is randomly. So let us give it a try now. Rendell, may I ask you to create the breakout sessions?
Hi, sorry to interrupt. Let's resume. I hope you had a great time in the chats. We talked about dogs and so forth. All right. We are back, and I would like to call to the floor for the evaluation session our general evaluator, Alexander.
Yay!
Yeah, so well, it's easy. We have our evaluators. It's Olga Guseva for the first speech and Rami Saeed for the second one. They had time to prepare, so the first one is Olga Guseva. So please tell us your evaluation of the speech that we heard, the long one. I think it's the longest speech I heard actually, by Michael. Look at him, he's cool. But we'll hear how cool was it for an evaluator.
Right, thank you, Alexander. And thank you so much, Michael. Well, this was quite a different speech. I've evaluated several of your speeches in the past. And I think if there's one thing I can say is that I feel that you are completely in your element when it comes to a longer speech. You spoke with good pace. Your language was very understandable. You didn't rush or speed up or try to squeeze too much content into a short space of time, which was a problem of the past. You really laid everything out very clearly. You led us through your speech, what you were going to tell us. So I loved how you linked from the get-go your explanation of what you were going to talk about to the title of Practice, Polish, Persistence. Another thing that I absolutely loved was how you used demonstrations in every single part of your explanation. When you were talking about practicing, you went into detail with the research and you used gestures there. So you used demonstrations of how you would dig for research, or then how you would break it down to the main points that you were going to talk about. And then I loved how in the Polish section, you used demonstrations with the vocal variety gestures. So you really let us know what it is to speak really loudly or what it is to speak really softly. So every single point that you made, you followed with a demonstration. I also loved how you used the screen to show your notes so that we could follow along with you. And I also loved how you were very clear with pointing to the right point on your screen, which was fantastic. So you really walked the walk, not just talk the talk. You can see that you've actually practiced, polished, and persisted with this speech today. So thank you for that. On the other hand, there is always room for improvement. And I think I had to fish for these comments because your speech was really superb. One thing that I noticed was that your camera was off at the start. I don't know if this was intentional, but just before you speak, take a moment to look in that bottom left corner, look if your mic is on, look if your video is on, so that when you start, you really start with that impact that we know you will provide for us when we actually see your face. On that note as well, with your notes, although you used them really well, what I found was that when you actually moved on from your 3 main points, that persistence at the end. It lingered on the screen when you were telling your personal story. So I think it would have been effective to remove that for us so that we can really just focus on you, on what you have to say and how it relates to you. And then finally, facial expressions. For such a long speech, I feel it can get very serious very quickly. So when you smile, when you were talking about that paycheck, I think we all just smiled with you and relaxed. So incorporate your smile throughout the rest of the speech. But overall, well done, and keep practicing, polishing, and persisting. And good luck with your future projects. Mr. General Evaluator, over to you.
Thank you, Olga. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Olga. And another one is Rami Saeed. But before we start, I want to say that our evaluators are to be evaluated by you in the end. So please take notes and engage. So right now, Rami Saeed, it's your turn.
Thank you. Valeria, I really felt in terms of your content that you are an expert in the matter, that you really knew the material very hardly, especially when you were answering the questions of the crowd. I really felt that you took into consideration the feelings, you were sensitive to them, you gave your answers in a way that really didn't scare the people. They were actually encouraged to ask you and ask you and ask you. I really saw structure. I understood every single part, which is something that's very rare for me. I understood that at the beginning there is a problem, that there is a lack of mentorship, then there is how the perfect picture is, and then you explained how this project fits right into that. I really love that. You explained how it is relevant to me, how to register. You took me through the steps like a baby. It was like, you do this, you click that and everything. And you explained how it helps me, why I should go. And at the end, you explained what's in it for you, why you're involved in it and everything. So I really felt trusting in that area. I also liked your personal story, that you actually took a role in this and you actually went through it. And then the end is the call to action. I really felt like going and acting and doing it. And this is something that's very vital, especially in Toastmasters presentations. Usually we try to make up a topic, but here it's something that's actually driving me to act. I liked your eye contact. I liked your smiling. You were smiling all over the time. It was a positive presentation. I liked the slides that you shared. They were perfect in terms of concentration, colors, design, and also the time control that you had. One thing to challenge yourself for the future, perhaps I've seen several people raise their hands. They were not able to be incorporated in the in your answers. So maybe you could predict these questions and answer them in your speech, perhaps, so that there will be less questions coming up, and maybe shorten your answers a little bit. That's also something that I can say. Other than that, thank you so much, and wish you all the best in the future speeches. And thank you for giving us the speech. Back to you, Alexander.
Yes, but as we can see, right now we all had our answers, but what is more important is timing. And what to Randall Eastman, our viewer, Canadian viewer, and who loves maple syrup. But right now he will say us what to do. So please, Randall.
Okay, Alexander, happy news, happy news. I'm pleased to share that Olga Guseva, who had 2 to 3 minutes to deliver her evaluation, spoke for 3 minutes and 20 seconds. 20 seconds over, that's okay. We allow 30 seconds over the maximum. And Rami came well within the 2 to 3 minutes. He spoke for 2 minutes, 38 seconds. So both are eligible for voting. Back to you, Mr. General.
Yeah, right now you can see the link for voting on our evaluators, because they are to be evaluated by you. We have democracy here in Russia. So yeah, please find the link and vote. That's the most important thing right now, because voting gives us power, in theory. And as we're all voting, I'd like to say that Alan Akamba can introduce Alexander Kim and what he has to do right now.
All right. Thank you, Alexander, for your presentation. Now, let's continue with the report of other roles, and we're going to start with the grammarian report, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you very much, Ellen. I'm, as a grammarian, will give you a quick report on the usage of the word to mingle. We've had it a couple of times today. Ellen used it at the very beginning, followed by Michael during his speech as well, twice. And Valeria hit it totally with 3 times using mingle and mingling. Congratulations. Very well done. I think that becomes it more easy to introduce that into your speech and using different variety of words instead of mix. Apart from that, what was to be named as room for improvement for English speaking? To be honest with you, I don't have so many written down or so much written down in terms of what needs to be improved. The speaking I was listening up to now was exceptionally good, which I always admire and love, because the communication can focus on the content and not instead of what needs to be improved. However, our very classic is probably the American pronunciation of gonna do it better. So the gonna I used to learn in Toastmasters during my time in Toastmasters. Please speak going to. So I'm going to name it as it is. And I think, not sure who said it as well, to be responsible for something, not to be responsible to something. This was something I was hearing as well. Apart from that, what was very good are usually idioms which help us to rephrase. A woman told me XYZ to step up, or helped me to step up another level. I love that. I think Valeria used that. And I think Olga or someone else used the phrase to fish for comments or fish for compliments. This is also a very nice phrase which describes the intention of someone to get something. On that note, thank you very much. Back to Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Mr. Grammarian. Walter. Moving on to the next report by the counter.
So for the first speaker, Michael, there is not much to pick on. It was only one very small and some repeats of this is, and on LinkedIn. Then the second speaker, Valeria, I count 12 us, 3 ums, and 1 repeat. That is. Then I was not sure if I should count everyone speaking at all. Yes, I did. For Alexander Chernov, I count 1 2 1 but, and 1 long pause, which was not very clear if it was so for like theater, Chekhov's pause, we say, or not. Then for Walter, I count 6 us and 4 ums. Randall with 2 us, 1 well, and 2 so's. Olga Guseva with 1 Rami with 9 us, 2 1 so. And Alexander Kim with 1 and 1 so. And in total, I have count 73 words and sounds all in total. And that's all for me, and I give it back to Alan, I think.
Yes.
Sorry for hijacking you for a second, because I will have to mention, because I always am the R counter, because I like this role. And I have to say that having only 30 is incredible, because my last one was 170 or something. I lost my notes. It was 190, 170, and 150, something like this. So the number being cut 5 times is incredible. Sorry for hijacking you, but I have to mention it. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
please, Alan.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you, Valeria, for your report. That's very analytical. Thank you for taking the time to pay attention to the The next report is the Quizmaster's report. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alan. So we will have now a quick question and answer session once again. Now, how does this work? I put a question in the chat, and the person who types the fastest the correct answer gets some Quizmaster points. So get prepared. The first question is, out of practice, polish, and persistence, which part is the hardest according to Michael Wader? Oh, that's a difficult one, I see. Valeria Kholodkova, of course, persistence, 1000 Quizmaster points is going to our angel with a halo, Valeria. Question number 2. Hope this one is a little bit easier. When a lady asked Michael how to extend her longevity, what was his advice to her? Yeah, to find a date, exactly. Does this work for a man as well, Michael? I wonder. Yeah, it does, I guess. I wonder how many dates then Michael had during his life. Ooh. Next question. How many professional speakers have a side job to have a sufficient income? 90% of the time. Very good. Finally, who is the author of this famous quote? As we look ahead into the next century, mentors will be those who empower others. Nietzsche? Bill Gates. Oh, lots of people fall for this trap. So this one is actually Valeria Kholodkova. Thank you for tuning in. I'd like to pass the stage back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Kim. That was very brief, very succinct. Good job. Now we are drawing near, we're almost closing our meeting, but before I hand the floor back to our president, Walter, I'd like to announce the results for the best speakers and best evaluator, and then we're going to have the general evaluator's report. I should probably do it right now. Mr. General Evaluator, could you give us your report?
Yeah, it will be a short one. I'll keep it short because it was short. So the pluses is that everything started in time, unlike the last time. Everyone was welcomed and introduced. As usual, good work, people, especially to Randall and Michael and Walter, our most welcoming guys, because I usually am not. So, and to the minuses, the Toastmaster has a sound problem and I have a hard time hearing him. I think it applies to everyone. So please check your sound, it's incredibly important. Another one, we had 2 red timers. The second one was in accordance to rules, but it was a slippery slope, because next time you might mess up and it will happen as usual in our club. Everyone is in the red and the voting is meaningless because no one to vote for. We've been close this time. And the last one is that I myself mixed up the roles, because it was not supposed to be that I should say that Alexander Kim is the next one, because I forgot my team and that's not good. So I myself made a mistake. But other than that, actually everything is on time and everything is being accounted for. And that's really great. I have no job because everything is good. I don't like it. I like to pinpoint the mistakes, but there are none. So please keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Alexander. General evaluation is very important because we all have a blind spot, and so it's a great feedback that we all receive. Now, before the president closes, awards for the best speaker and best evaluator. I'm going to start with the best speaker. Two speakers were amazing, and I just received the report here that Michael Waiter is our best speaker today. Congratulations, Michael. But also congratulations, Valeria, for the amazing presentation on the Odyssey. Thank you. As for the evaluator, two evaluators were good. The results show that Rami is the winner for today, the best evaluator. Congratulations, Rami. But also, Olga, thank you for stepping in and accepting to evaluate Michael. Having said this, I now hand the floor to Walter, our president, to adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ellen. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you very much, dear guests and contributors, for our such nice 130th meeting of today. I very much hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I would now announce that I'll have a couple of minutes, probably 5, for another 2 topics I would like to share with you, and ask also the guests to stay here. And besides that, I would love maybe to Valeria, I don't know how much time you have, maybe, or I had the impression that people still have open questions, perhaps either on the Odyssey project, or maybe that you can also share the link which you were talking about straight, that everyone can now grab it and copy paste it in the chat. That would be great.
Thanks, Walter. I think Randall has already shared the direct link to the website of the Odyssey project, where you can simply click the register button.
Perfect. Perfect.
And I'm always open to any questions you may have about the project. So feel free to write to me via Telegram, WhatsApp, or email, whatever. Thanks.
Perfect. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Valeria, for joining us and giving us such an insight into this new or upcoming or active Odyssey project. Besides that, I would use the couple of minutes as well to our guests who were here the very first time to ask you for 1 to 2 minutes what your impression was of our meeting. Maybe we can start with Gerardo.
Yes, hello, Walter. Thank you very much. I'm glad to talk with you during the breakout rooms. Thank you. And well, yes, thank you for the invitation to Michael. He invited us, and appreciate it. Always is glad to hear his speeches and get some inspiration from him. In this case, what I saw only, and time to time in our club is happening, is that to give 1 minute for evaluation, like after the speaker. So give 1 minute of evaluation, because I wanted to give immediately evaluation to Michael or Valeria, but then it continued. Perhaps is the only thing. Apart from that, I always liked and glad to attend Toastmasters meeting. A lot of smiley faces, and yes, it was also a good opportunity because I know Valeria as well from the district, and we. Coincidentally, today I will have a speech about Odyssey, so it was also nice to catch some information from her presentation as well. And well, thank you for that. It was very nice coincidence. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Gerardo Garcia. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos. Anna, may I ask you for a couple of words on your feedback?
Hello. I was very glad to join today this meeting. I don't know much about Toastmasters Club, and I wanted to check out like what is it, how it can be useful, and so on. And like I was surprised by the topic. So like both topics, because I imagined more like, okay, people like make some presentations like in training purposes, but these presentations were not only like a training, but like I made some notes like that I can use. It was useful actually, information from both presentations. So thank you to the speakers. And it all sounds interesting. I have a couple of questions, like organizational questions regarding the club, and I hope I can like after I can ask to find out more.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. You can contact either me directly after the call or via the chat. We can exchange information details. I would probably not do it right now, giving the others the opportunity also to leave one, two sentences for the feedback. Anna, thank you very much. Masha, can you hear me? I'm not sure. Yeah, you're here. I thought the picture is not there yet. Do you have, are you first time with us?
I have 3 sentences, not 2.
Oh, 3, yeah, that's all right. Okay, go ahead.
This is my first time, with you, but I'm a Toastmaster, but in French. And I missed really speaking English, and that was perfect to listen to you. And also, that's great to meet people that I already know, for example, Valeria and Alan, and also new faces. So nice to meet you all. And I appreciate my presence in your club because like very warm atmosphere, and also everything is well organized. Thank you for this afternoon.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Masha. Did I leave Ahmed? Ahmed, can we hear you? Can you hear me?
Also Ella, Walter, when you get them.
Ahmed, I have no response from Ahmed. Ella, can you hear us? Maybe you can just jump in if we. Oh yeah, there we go. Ella,
definitely,
go ahead.
I can hear you, and I can see you. I'm just trying to keep my video in some way. I don't know if you can hear me because I have some challenges with connection.
All perfect. Yeah? You're
perfect.
on stage.
Okay. Yeah, it's like spiritual meetings. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear anything or see anything?
All perfect.
So thank you very much, first of all, Michael, for mingling on our meeting in the Leadership Club first, but then for having a possibility to have a bit of mingling in here. I love the idea about the break, that there are breakout rooms and everybody have the possibility to speak in a smaller groups. And this is a really great idea. I don't need to tell you that I really enjoyed the speeches, both of them, and it was a pleasure. It's a great idea. It's a great also possibility, Valeria, and hello again, because we know each other from our District 108. One thing that maybe I would recommend is some kind of small round circle at the beginning, maybe not even for everybody if you have no time, but just warm up the audience and also give the bigger group of people to speak. But thank you very much. Really professional, well prepared, well organized meeting. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, and see you next time. If you are using Spanish, hasta la vista, hasta luego.
Depends from where you're from. Thank you very much, Ella. Thank you very much, Ella. Good hearing you.
Thank you.
Did I miss someone? Please help me out if I have not seen those faces or recognize it. I think we are good to go. Thank you very much, dear guests. Thank you very much, Valeria, that you've been with us now, Gagarin as well.
Maybe
Thank you very much, Valeria Kholodkova. And I have one question, Valeria Kholodkova. There is also an upcoming area training on the 13th of February. Do you have a few sentences on that, or are you already running and flying to your next meeting?
No, I'm still here with you, and I will be happy to share.
Perfect.
In just 2 weeks, on the day of your next meeting, that will start at 2 p.m. But before that, starting at 10 a.m., both areas, Area 1 and B of the Russian Toastmasters community, are holding the second COT, Club Officers Training, of this Toastmasters year. That will last for 5 hours, and that will include the introduction, well, not the introduction already, but the elaboration on the officers' roles with specific, I would say, zest added to it on how to do your role better online, since we are all online now. So each role will be carefully explored, and tips and trips will be shared with every officer of every club that will be present at this officers training. We also are expecting 3 more sessions. One is devoted to mentoring, and it's not about Odyssey, it's about how to find mentors inside your club and how to form pairs and how not to lose this program. So it's important for VPEs, VPMs, and presidents to be there for this session. And there will also be a panel discussion with European leaders, district leaders in English. And people will tell you their stories, why they came to Toastmasters, why they joined, what made them stay, and how they have proceed to such higher district management levels. So they will give you the reasons why and why stay in Toastmasters and what else to do here apart from just participating at the meetings as a leader. And we're also expecting a session on membership, how to attract new members, but then the speakers will be yet determined. So everyone who is willing to attend this COT, Club Officers Training, is welcomed. On the website, on our Facebook, on our Instagram channel, we have events and the registration links. The registration is required. So if you want to, if you're interested, if you probably are thinking or planning to become an officer soon or someday in a year time, whatever, if you're just curious, join the training, see how the whole system works, see what officers are doing and how those beautiful meetings are organized, what is inside and what is this preparation all about, and how to get better at every endeavor and every officers and initiatives we're taking up. Thank you, Walter, for such an opportunity. February 13.
Thank you very much, Valeria. Area President, how's it called? Area
Director.
Director, yeah. Thank you very much, Valeria. It doesn't say in your in your name. Area Director, because we have occasionally not only challenges, not only competitions, but we also have educational trainings, and this is one of those for the officers. This is when you become a member, and then you have another role for the governmental task to get it all rolling for all members who are new to us today or guests. I would like to close right now the official part of the meeting. However, leave the members actively open still with us just to make sure we refill the roles for the next session. So my very warm welcome to all who's been here today, for the guests and members. And if someone of you has something to say, just raise a hand. If not, I wish you a very, very good day.